Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks and welcome to my channel. People's been asking me what's in the game, what's not in the game, how come this is not in the game, how come Naughty Dog has omitted certain elements within Uncharted 4 that was in Uncharted 3, 2 and 1. So all I can basically say at this moment in time is that if you are on the fence about getting the game and the future content, I would basically take a punt and just get the vanilla game. It's a £42 game. With that, you're gonna get the story and you're gonna get the multiplayer. So that is more or less gonna be, as much as you can probably stand within the game, I guess. But if you're an Uncharted 4 fan like myself, then anything that Naughty Dog is gonna basically bring, you're gonna want a piece of the action. So with me, I bought the digital deluxe edition because I thought it was going to be exclusive to the PlayStation Store, but I found out that it's not, because now Amazon is selling the DLC, the triple DLC, as a download separate from the vanilla game anyway, and it kind of works out cheaper. But do I mind? Am I upset? No, I'm not, because at the end of the day, it's going to include a story mode and 2 packs. Now, I initially thought that the DLC packs were the modes, but it's not the modes. But I'm going to explain even further when I get into some of the blurb that's on the forums at the minute. But one of the questions that was being asked, that I asked myself, was where is co-op? Just like this dude asks, Hungry Zombie, he asks, where is co-op mode? Because, for some people, like I stated in previous videos, that they don't even play PvP in Uncharted. They will play co-op arena, co-op adventure all day, every freaking day. It was one of the best modes in the game, simply because of the fact that some people just don't want to play PvP because they get their ass handed to them. And I was like that in Uncharted 3. I hardly play any multiplayer. It was strictly co-op I played. So this guy was on the money and basically asked, where is the co-op mode? And if you scroll down, you will see that somebody graciously put up a link which will lead to this page, basically stating in detail what is in the multiplayer, and it's free DLC. You see, now this is what confused me. I thought that the extra DLC that I was paying for was going to be modes, but they're not. They're just literally a new story mission, which is kind of exclusive to some degree, I guess. But then, like I said, Amazon is going to be selling it separately as a download code. So it's not really exclusive. But I'm not really bothered at this point because I still think it's a lovely game. It's a great game to play. But Naughty Dog has been very insistent on their commitment to the multiplayer, even though this is the last iteration installment of the Uncharted 4 series, which I alluded that they need to be supportive of this anyway, because once everybody's played the story, because there's been walkthroughs being posted up on YouTube like every minute of the fucking day. To me, it makes sense in a very minute way, because for future players who want to play Uncharted 4, that wants to get an idea of the walkthrough, yeah, they can basically check it up with somebody else's gameplay. But at the moment, while everybody's playing the game right about now, it makes no sense to me. Why am I going to be looking at somebody else's walkthrough when I've got the game myself? It makes no sense. And as I stated before, I'm not going to put up no walkthroughs. Don't make no sense. Why am I going to spoil your enjoyment by you watching me play the game that you already got in your possession? Nonsense. But anyway, I digress. Multiplayer detail, free DLC. It states here that Uncharted 4 Thief's End will hit shelves on May the 10th. And while we talked a lot about the single player campaign, many multiplayer details have remained under wraps. That ends today as we fill you in on what to expect, as well as the philosophy behind some of the new directions we took with multiplayer. Right off the bat, we want to highlight that all future maps and modes will be included with Uncharted 4 at no additional cost, and all vanity and gameplay in-game store items will be unlockable through gameplay. This means that the Uncharted 4 multiplayer community won't be fragmented by different types of DLC, and that those who are loyal in participating in the community will be rewarded. Our DLC release approach will represent an entirely new direction for Naughty Dog, and we are confident it will have a hugely positive impact and keep the Uncharted 4 multiplayer community thriving. It was a long process to determine how all this should work. We went back and forth with how we wanted players to experience this, and we created a few core philosophies, which are fairness first, an even playing field where all players have access to the same in-game store items, an evolving experience. Keep the game fresh with ongoing DLC, including new maps, modes, and gameplay items. Content for everyone. All in-game store items will be unlockable through gameplay at no additional cost. And a unified community where everyone gets immediate access to new maps and modes at no additional cost. Well, they're on a winner straight away. They're on a winner. You know, I mean, fans of Naughty Dog, even if they had sold all of this shit, all of the modes that they're going to be doling out in future for like 75 quid, people will still be paying money for that. There's no doubt, because like I said, Naughty Dog, synonymous with quality. Great storytelling, great gameplay, great gunplay mechanics. Do you know what I mean? So they had the choice. They had the choice whether to fleece you or to basically keep you coming back for more and more and more and more and more. And they chose the latter rather than the former. And I strongly applaud them for that. Kudos for that. Anyway, okay, now. Right, okay, so basically it just gives a little more detailed definition of their core philosophies, right? Okay, the multiplayer DLC economy. Basically, it's just a case of just doing challenges. Once you do all the challenges, you get your relics, and your relics will basically open up the chests where you can get cosmetic stuff like taunts and hats and all that kind of stuff. No weapons. I don't think there'll be any weapons included in that. But, you know, in terms of appearance, vanity items, you know, they'll be offering that. And they won't be doubled either. So there's no risk of you basically getting the same thing twice. They did state that. Okay, it says right here. It says here, chest drops are random, so you might not get the item you want right away, but chest will never drop an item you already have. So keep playing. Sold. Where is the pay to win? There is none. All in-game store items are unlockable through gameplay. If you just can't wait, you have the option to buy Uncharted points on the PlayStation Store and use them to immediately unlock in-game items. So if you want to take real money and basically just open up some, you know, your cosmetic stuff, you're free to do that. I mean, for me, when I played Uncharted 3, I had like a green panda helmet, green torn shirt, green jeans, green chinos, and also a green pair of Converses. And that's all I used. You know what I mean? You know, I don't really want to get too much in the customization because you can get lost in that and you can spend a whole heap of money in that. So I just chose an outfit that I liked and I just stuck with it. And then, you know, as I continue to put up footage on YouTube, they recognize the character and they recognize the type of gameplay and what have you. And that's all I need. You know what I mean? Don't need to be changing all the while. But anyway, going back into the content of the DLC. Now, for those of you who purchased the triple pack, also included in the digital deluxe edition, you'll gain future access to For those of you who purchased the triple pack, also included in the digital deluxe edition, you'll gain future access to the first ever single player story add-on for the Uncharted series, 2 multiplayer packs to enhance your multiplayer experiences. Multi-pack 1, long gun, booster, skin, hat, taunt. Multiplayer pack 2, pistol, booster, mystical hat, taunt. Which technically, by the time that shit comes, if you've been playing it hard, you would already have opened up the long guns and the pistols already. So you've more or less kind of paid for nothing, really, which is what I can potentially do if I play the game hardcore. But am I bothered? Really? Not really, to be honest with you. Because whatever they bring in terms of multiplayer is going to be worth the £64 anyway. For some other people who just basically bought the vanilla game and not even gone into the triple pack, you know, I think they're going to probably get better value out of it, to be really honest with you. But it's kind of swings and roundabouts for me anyway. But that is more or less what Naughty Dog are basically offering in terms of DLC. Okay, with that being said and hopefully understood, here is my final take on Uncharted 4: A Thief's End in its present state as it stands right now. Now, first of all, the story. Absolutely, utterly amazing. What an experience I'm having with the story. I'm up to chapter 20 at the minute, and it just feels like I'm binge watching one of my favorite box sets, and thing I have to really congratulate Naughty Dog on is the fact that they strived to improve the whole experience in playing Uncharted. Whereas before, it is clearly obvious that you know the difference between a cutscene and gameplay. Whereas this iteration, they've made it absolutely seamless. It's so hard to tell the joint between the two. And I think that is something that can only be applauded where Naughty Dog is concerned. And it fills me with real pleasure, because now I know that they're going to strive to do even better with future games that they're going to basically put out. They're always on the cutting edge. Look at this face off right here. Look at this standoff. Look at that. I can hear your grappling hook, son. Come on. Yeah, blind firing hoe in action. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm up to chapter 20 and I'm loving it. It's worth the price alone for the story. Now, obviously, as we've discussed, or as I've discussed, co-op is missing, but not for long. It will be included in further patches down the line, so we don't need to go into that. But another thing that is definitely missing, that should really have been in the game from day one, is the leveling system. In Uncharted 3, you was able to prestige 5 times up to level 75. And you could have done that either in multiplayer or in co-op mode. So, that was a good option for you to have in terms of basically leveling your character up. And it gave you a sense of achievement. And I have to say, that's one of the most widely discussed critiques of the game so far. So it'd be interesting to see how Naughty Dog fixes that situation. And, with the co-op, obviously, with Naughty Dog, that they're going to basically bring it in. It's kind of like the same thing with The Last of Us, where, we were so engrossed with the story mode and we was asking, well, what's going to happen with multiplayer, how multiplayer is going to actually play, to the point where we stopped asking the questions and we were just totally wrapped up in the story. But then when they brought out the multiplayer, it was like, wow, awesome. We got into that. But obviously, for political reasons, I've stopped playing it because of the whole scoped weapons bundle, as I've chronicled and documented in so many videos in relation to The Last of Us. But yeah, co-op is definitely coming. So I'm cool about that. Naughty Dog are methodical in rolling out patches and content and what have you, and I'm cool with that. With what we've got so far, I'm happy at the moment. What else is in the game that I don't really care about is simply ranked team deathmatch. I'm not too hot into ranked team deathmatch. It automatically reminds me of Trials of Osiris, Destiny's Trials of Osiris, where you get a gold ranking, silver ranking, and platinum ranking. All that to me is just bollocks and elitist. Do you know what I mean? The thing about Uncharted was a game that, people would either play co-op or multiplayer, or they would play both. Now I feel that I can play both now, whereas before in Uncharted 3 I couldn't play on the multiplayer. I couldn't play multiplayer simply because of all the blind firing. But now, it's in the game. That's everybody's reasoning, and that's gonna have to be my reasoning as well. It's in the game. You just gotta learn how to basically use it. And sometimes it's not that effective. There is a counter to that, and I've seen a counter to that. I'm not going to mention it, but there is a counter to that. And I know the counter and I know the offense way of playing with blind fire accuracy. But having said that, back into ranked team deathmatch, I'm just not rating that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the only leveling up system that I see in the game, and I just don't think, well, well, people's gonna play it. I guess, you know, the hardcore fans are gonna basically play it. But I think for people that just love the game, you know, they just want to play, you know, a decent multiplayer where everybody's basically ranked with their respective level and just play against each other. Do you know what I mean? You know, once you include something like that, it just brings elitists out, and you know, and I'm just not feeling that, to be perfectly honest with you. But overall, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, I'm absolutely loving it. Now I have a more deeper understanding as to the rollout of the content. I was pretty much confused in terms of the DLC and what was going to be included in the DLC. I thought multiplayer packs were the modes. You know what I mean? And it makes sense to me for Naughty Dog to suggest, well, why should you have to pay for that when, you know, we want to make everybody feel a part of the whole multiplayer experience by giving the multiplayer stuff for free. But it's just the weapons that you can unlock that we want to give you the option to pay for, which, you know, I've more or less fell for. I fell for that, but I'm still happy with that. Do you know what I mean? I'm still cool with that. You know, it's the last iteration of Uncharted, for fuck's sake. You know what I'm saying? For me, you know, IGN has given it a low score simply because of the third act of the story is a bit too long. And for me, it's like, well, come on now. You know, I don't really want it to end, but it has to end because, you know, it's run its course. But to me, you know, getting as much story in, getting as much gameplay in the story is good enough for me. You know, I wouldn't say it's important, but it's good enough. You know, I'm not going to moan about, you know, getting an extra portion of food on my plate. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But anyway, it's with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching the video. And as always, you done know the coup. Whatever the media, game, platform, format, happy gaming, because that's what it's truly about, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters. And until I catch you on the next one, I'm going to leave you with the tail out of this extraordinary game. So until next time, stay blessed. Magan.
Oh, they didn't like that.
You're not gonna like me at all. Now they can't move.
Time to go to work.